Welcome to my home. Today we're going to do a yoga climb. So let's get going. I'm going to take my glasses off, put on my ponytail, and find a simple cross leg. So we'll find a simple cross leg. Taking our ankles underneath our knees, drawing our navel to our spine, lifting our shoulders to our ears, rolling them down our back, and closing our eyes as we turn our palms to face the sky. As we inhale, we'll fill our chest with air. And as we exhale, we'll draw breath down our spine and towards our belly. Inhaling, filling our chest with air. Exhaling, drawing breath down our spine and towards our belly. Inhaling fully and pausing. Inhaling a little more. Exhaling fully and pausing. Exhaling just a little more. Inhaling fully and pausing. Inhaling a little more. Exhaling fully and pausing. Exhaling just a little more. Begin to take breath at your own pace. Aiming your shoulders to opposite walls and let your chin rest parallel to the ground. Perhaps even taking a moment to smile, your eyes are closed, release any tension from your jaw. Take about 2 more breath cycles wherever you happen to be. One more breath cycle or so. And then keeping your eyes closed, transition your hands to your shins, allowing the knuckles to face forward. Inhaling into a seated cow sternum, reaching forward. Exhaling into our seated cat, tucking our chin, tucking our tail. Inhaling into our cow, holding a quarter between our shoulder blades. Exhaling into our cat, creating space between each vertebra, shoulders aiming more to our hips than not. Taking 3 to 5 more cat and cows, moving at the pace that's right for you. After you've taken about 3 to 5 cat and cows, return back to the simple cross leg. Keeping eyes closed, spine stacked. Hands resting our thighs, but palms up. Hands mimicking mini sandbags, encouraging the knees to aim forward rather than lift towards the ceiling. With our next inhale, we'll open our eyes and gaze forward. Let's notice which leg we crossed in front. We'll interlace our hands and bring that finger closest to our body. Inhale, we draw our navel to our spine, extending our arms forward, lifting up. With an exhale, we'll release our shoulders down our back. Inhale, we'll slide our chin to the right like we're backing out of our parking spot. Exhale to center. With an inhale, we'll slide our chin to the left. Exhale to center. With an inhale, we'll gaze to our fingers. Then we'll slowly exhale, gaze forward. Gently undoing the interlace, extending our arms out, finding the muscular resistance, pausing it parallel. Let's draw our right hand behind us and hook our left arm to the outside of our leg. Inhale, lengthening, creating space. Exhale, we'll turn our belly, our heart, and our gaze. Inhale, lengthening while we're in our twist. Exhale, using that right hand as a hinge, bringing out our belly, deepening our twist. With our next inhale, we'll uncoil, we'll return back to center. Let's lift up our knees and crisscross our legs in the other direction. Inching our feet to rest more underneath our knees than out, we bring our hands back to prayer with corresponding finger interlaces by our body. Inhale, our navel draws to our spine. We extend our arms forward, lifting up. With an exhale, we'll release our shoulders down our back. Inhale, we'll slide our chin to the left like we're backing out of our parking spot. Exhale to center. With an inhale, we slide our chin to the right. Exhale to center. With an inhale, we'll gaze to our fingers. We'll slowly exhale, gaze forward. Gently undoing the interlace, extending our arms out, finding the muscular resistance, pausing it parallel. Let's draw our left hand behind us, hook our right arm to the outside of our leg. Inhale, lengthening, creating space. Exhale, we'll turn our belly, our heart, and our gaze. Inhale, we'll lengthen in our twist. As we exhale, we'll use that right hand as a hinge, bringing out our belly, deepening our twist. With our next inhale, we'll uncoil. Let's return back to center. We'll lift up our knees and we'll find a wide V. So we'll sit facing one of the walls in the room we're using. We'll aim our heels out from our hips, aim our toes back to our shoulders. We'll make fists, place them in the ground behind our glutes. Inhale, we lift up our body. With an exhale, we slide our heels a little bit further away. And then when we gently lower our body, our pelvis is tilted slightly forward. So think of our pelvis as a fishbowl. Ever so slightly, the back of that fishbowl is turned up. We'll put an imaginary sandbag on each thigh to keep our legs steady, hands shoulder distance apart in front of us. Inhale, we lengthen from tailbone through the crown of our head and from hip to heel. Exhale, keeping those sandbags on our legs, we shimmy our fingers forward, lengthening from our hip, elongating our spine like a ruler. And at that last moment, right before our backward round, we'll press our fingertips into the ground. Our sternum lengthens forward, our shoulders reach to our hips. We can continue to keep our arms elongated, maybe let our elbows rest under our shoulders or reach our hands somewhere out along our legs or feet. Our eyes are closed, our shoulders reach to our hips, our navel draws to our spine. Stay wherever you happen to be. 4 more breaths wherever our body's taking us. 3 more breaths. 2. 1. With an inhale, we'll open our eyes, let our hands rest under our shoulders, and we'll gently restack our spine. We can take our hands underneath our knees to carefully lift up our knees. We'll draw the soles of our feet together in Baddha Konasana. We'll interlace our fingers around our little toes. Inhale, we sit nice and tall. Exhale, bending our elbows wide, crown of our head lengthens forward, shoulders aim to our hips, and then we open our feet like a book, allowing the little toe sides of our feet to connect. Shoulders aim to our hips, navel draws to our spine wherever we are. Just 3 more breaths with our elbows aiming to our knees or forearms on the ground. 2 more breaths wherever our body's taking us. 1. With an inhale, we'll gently restack our spine, open up our eyes, but we'll keep our book open. We're not quite done with the chapter. We'll take our hands back behind us, aiming our fingers forward. Inhale, let's draw our navel to our spine, bend our elbows back. Exhale, we'll spread effort between our 10 fingers, sternum lifts high, shoulders roll to our ears and down our back. And we'll draw the little toe sides of our feet towards one another. The stronger we press our feet into one another, the more we're unlocking the base of our spine as we lift our heart. 2 more breaths. 1. Exhale, our elbows bend. We gently restack our spine. We'll lift up our knees. We'll roll onto one hip or another, and we'll find our way to all fours. Spreading our hands out like starfish, turning the inner aspects of our elbows towards one another so we're not hyperextended. With an inhale, we'll round our back into our cat. And ironically, I've got my cat joining me for the moment, curling our toes. And then we'll find our first down dog, high on our tippy toes. With an inhale, we'll bend one knee, lower the opposite heel. Exhale, vice versa. Pedaling out our feet. Stretching our calves and our Achilles with a conservative knee bend. We're taking a little bit more adventurous knee bend to get into our lower back. Finding what's right for us. Making the best of our workout. Even if our furry friends want to join us, inviting them in. Inhaling high on our tippy toes. And with an exhale, simultaneously lowering our heels towards the ground. Drawing our thighs back to the wall, lifting our shoulders to our hips, turning our armpits towards our Yogi mat neighbors, gazing to our navel and nodding yes and no. We'll let our head be passive. We'll begin to walk our hands back to our feet, softening our knees as much as our hamstrings wish. When we do arrive at the back of our mat, we take the knee bend. We need to place our first two fingers and thumbs around our big toes. Inhale, we elongate our spine. Exhale, we bend our elbows wide, folding our heart to our thighs, lifting our shoulders to our hips, nodding yes and no. And we'll allow our head to be passive, lengthening our legs, letting gravity do the work for 3 more breaths. Elbows wide, smiling in the direction of our legs for 2, 1. Exhale, deep bend in our knees, hands to our hips, eyes open, tailbone descends, spine stacks. We bring ourselves to upright. Inhale, lifting our arms high, palms connect. Exhale, elbows bend, thumbs descend, lengthening our triceps. Inhale, fingers high. Exhale, deep knee bend protects our back as we hinge. Inhaling into our half lift. Exhale, bending our elbows, folding our heart to our thighs. We'll soften our knees, place our fingers by our toes, and we'll walk ourselves out into our plank. Carefully lower into our bellies, letting the fronts of our feet touch. Inhaling into our cobra, shoulders roll to our ears and down our back. Hands on the ground for flexibility, or hovering for strength. Gazing at the floor in front of us, holding a quarter between our shoulders for 2 more breaths. 1. Hands down if they're up. We'll curl our toes, press our heels into chaturanga. Then inhale into our downward facing dog. And from our down dog, we'll walk footprint by footprint towards the front of our mat, softening our knees as much as our hamstrings wish. When we arrive at the front of our mat, we'll find a chair. Navel draws in, tailbone descends, hands extend 3/4 up the wall in front of us. With an inhale, let's transition effort to our tippy toes, elevating our heels. With an inhale, we transfer to our heels, lifting up our toes. With our next inhale, we transfer weight through all 4 corners of our feet. We bring our arms to parallel. Trying to keep our thighs in contact with another, keep our knees in contact. We draw our navel to our spine. Inhale, the right arm reaches back as if our palms are pressing onto the wall. Inhale, our rib cage rotates in the direction of our hands without moving our legs. Exhale, back to center, maybe sit a little lower. Inhale, left arm reaches back, expanding our chest, palms imagining that they're touching the wall. Rib cage rotating in the direction of our hands, reaching our fingers away from one another. Exhale to center. Hands to our hips. We'll lift up onto our tippy toes, heels elevate, gently bring ourselves to upright. And we'll slowly lower our heels, pedaling out our feet. We'll find stillness. Inhale, lifting our arms high. Exhale, mini back bend, elbows wide, heart lifts, give curve between our legs. Inhale, fingers high. Exhale, deep knee bend protects our back as we hinge. Inhaling into our half lift. Exhale, bending our elbows, folding our heart to our thighs. We'll soften our knees, place our fingers by our little toes. And we'll stride back with our left leg, keeping right knee over ankle and taking left heel over our tippy toes. Inhale, rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin. Exhaling into our lunge, knee over ankle, shoulders lengthen to our hips. 3 more, rounding our back, chest close to our thigh, gazing to our shin. Exhaling into our lunge. 2 more, rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin. Exhaling into our lunge, knee over ankle, 1 more time. Rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin. Exhaling into our lunge, heel over our toes. We'll slowly surrender that left knee to the ground. We'll bend our knee, heel to our glute. Inhale, the right hand high fives the side wall. Our right palm aims to the arch of our foot. We encourage our heel to aim to our glute, stretching our quad. Left hand under our shoulder. Maybe forearm on our thigh to add a little instability. Perhaps left forearm to the floor for a little more intensity. 3 more breaths wherever we are. 2. 1. Let's meet with our hands under our shoulders. We'll gently curl our left toes, elevating the knee ever so slightly. We'll tuck the knee in to join our right. We'll impersonate our flamingo. We'll bring ourselves to upright. We'll cross that left leg over, tiptoe the floor, thumbs to our sacrum, protecting our lower back. With an exhale, we're going to sit down into our chair, stacking shoulders and hips. Tiptoe on the floor, coil the foot. We'll extend our arms forward, bend our elbows. We can have our elbows connect or left elbow on top. We'll round from our spine to our heart, stacking wrist over elbows. Perhaps we'll allow our eagle to fly, aiming our elbows to our knees, flying off of our perch. 3 more breaths wherever we are, rounding from our spine to our heart. 2, 1. If our eagles flew, we'll bring ourselves back to our perch. We'll all uncoil. Left leg hovers, hands to our hips. Inhale, we fill our chest. Exhale, we'll soften our right knee, hands under our shoulders. We'll stride back with our left and then our right. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog and in our down dog. Let's walk footprint by footprint towards the front of our mats. Lengthening our hamstrings. When we arrive at the front of our mat, we'll find a chair once again. Navel draws in, tailbone descends, hands extend 3/4 up. This time we'll elevate our heels, tiptoes lift. Inhale, we fill our chest. Exhale, let's sit a little bit lower, hands aiming to the floor. Inhale, toes touch thighs, draw together. We bring ourselves to upright. Exhale, mini back bend, elbows wide, heart lifts, give curve between our legs. Inhale, fingers high. Exhale, deep knee bend protects our back as we hinge. Inhaling into our half lift. Exhale, bending our elbows, folding our heart to our thighs. We'll soften our knees, place our fingers by our toes, and we'll stride back with our right leg, stacking left knee over ankle, right heel over our toes. Inhale, we'll round our back like cat, gazing to our shin, lifting up our left toes to create more space. Exhaling into our lunge, knee over ankle, shoulders lengthen to our hips. Rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shins so there's no undue strain on our neck. Exhaling into our lunge, right heel over toes 2 more times. Rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin. Exhaling into our lunge 1 more time. Rounding our back, straightening our legs, gazing to our shin. Exhale into our lunge, right knee descends. Right palm or fist under our shoulder, we bend our right knee. Inhale, the left hand high fives the wall beside us. We aim our palm for the little toe side of our foot, aiming our heel to our glute, stretching that right quad. Right hand on the floor, maybe forearm to our thigh for 2 limbs of balance and stability. Or perhaps we bring that forearm to the ground for a little bit more of a stretch from the quad. As we open that left shoulder girdle, we're here 3 more breaths. 2, 1. With an exhale, we'll meet with that right leg descending, hands under our shoulder. We'll curl our right toes, lift the right knee off the ground ever so slightly. We'll tuck the right knee in to join our left. We'll impersonate our flamingo, bringing ourselves to upright, hands to our lower back. We'll cross that right leg over, preparing for our eagle. We'll sit down on our perch, stacking shoulders and hips. Tiptoe can be on the floor. We could coil our toes as long as our hips and shoulders aim forward. We'll extend our arms, bend our elbows. Elbows and palms connect to right elbow on top. Let's lift our elbows to the level of our eyes, stack wrist over elbows. Sitting on our perch or allowing our eagle to fly. Rounding from our spine to our heart. 4 more breaths wherever we happen to be. 3, 2, 1. Flown eagles come back to the perch. We'll all uncoil. Right leg hovers, hands to our hips. Inhale, balancing, filling our chest. Exhale, softening that left knee, hands under our shoulders. We'll stride back with our right and then our left. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. Let's come up onto our tippy toes. We'll take a deep bend in our knees, chest close to our thighs. We'll lift our shoulders to our hips, turn our armpits towards our yogi mat neighbors as we gaze to our navel. Now we'll extend our legs as we create more space in that upper back. We'll nod yes and no, freeing our head, neck, and shoulders. And then we can allow our head to be passive and stay here with our big toes connected. Or lift our right leg high. Maybe come up onto the ball of our left foot to stretch our arch, get a little more to our hamstring. Perhaps bend our knees, stack our hip, gaze under the left armpit at our heel. Stillness stretches the quad, circling the knee in space, unlocks the hip. Stay wherever your body's taking you for 3 more breaths. 2, 1. Let's look to our hands, and we'll step our right foot forward into our lunge. Right hand on our thigh, left arm deeply crosses over, hands to prayer. With an inhale, the crown of our head extends, and with an exhale, we press our hands into one another, stacking ribs, shoulders, elbows. Hands at prayer, fly or bind, left knee up or down, yogi choice. 3 more breaths wherever our body's taking us this day. 2 more breaths wherever we are in our practice. 1. With an exhale, let's meet up flat. Inhale, we reach from fingertip to fingertip. Inhale, our arms find the length of our mat. And with an exhale, the right hand descends, the left arm lifts. We're strong from our waist down, flexible from our waist up. 2 more breaths. 1. Inhale to center. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, fingers high. Exhale, hands under our shoulders. We'll soften our left knee, tuck the left knee to join the right. We'll impersonate our flamingo, balancing on the right leg, preparing for a tree, externally rotating the left. Tiptoe to the floor, foot to the calf, or inner aspect of our thigh, just not putting any sideways pressure on our knee. Keeping our hands on our hips, maybe thumbs to our sacrum to protect the lower back, maybe hands to prayer. Perhaps we allow our tree limbs to grow. Maybe our arms are shoulder width our cactus. Maybe we hold elbows behind our back, a reverse angel wing, a reverse prayer. Find where your body would like to be as we practice, gazing somewhere at the floor in front of us. 3 more breaths. 2, 1. Let's meet with our hands on our hips, eyes open if they're closed. We'll hover our left leg. Inhale, we fill our chest. Exhale, softening our knees, hands under our shoulders. We'll start back with our left and then our right. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. Stay here. Or lift our left leg high. Maybe come up into the ball of our right foot to stretch our arch and our hamstring. Maybe bend our knees, stack our hip, gaze under the right armpit at our heel. Stillness stretches the quad, circling the knee in space, unlocks the hip. Customizing your practice. 3 more breaths wherever you'd like to be. 2, 1. Let's look to our hands, and we'll step our left foot forward into our lunge. Left hand on our thigh, right arm deeply crosses over, hands to prayer. Inhale, the crown of our head extends, and with an exhale, we press our hands into one another, stacking ribs, shoulders, elbows. Hands at prayer, fly or bind, right knee up or down, yogi choice. 3 more breaths wherever our body's taking us. 2, 1. With an inhale, we'll meet at fly. Inhale, we stretch our arms away from one another. Inhale, our arms are rest parallel to the floor. Exhale, the left hand descends, the right arm lifts. We're strong from our waist down, flexible from our waist up. 2 more breaths, reaching up to the sky. 1. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, fingers high. Exhale, hands under our shoulders, softening our right knee. Tucking the right knee in to join our left. Balancing on the left, impersonating our flamingo again. Tiptoe to the ground, thumbs to our sacrum, shoulders roll to our ears and down our back. We can keep the tiptoe on the floor, foot to the calf, or inner aspect of our thigh. Anywhere but placing any sideways pressure on our knee. Hands to our hips or lower back. Maybe prayer. Perhaps our tree limbs grow. Maybe our arms are shoulder width or cactus. Maybe hold onto elbows behind our back or reverse angel doing reverse prayer. Finding a spot at the floor to look at in front of us. 3 more breaths. 2, eyes open or closed. 1. We'll open our eyes. We'll meet with our hands and our hips, right leg hovers. Inhale, we feel our chest balancing. Exhale, softening our left knee, hands under our shoulders. We'll stride back with our right and then our left. We could rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. In our down dog, let's bring our feet as wide as our mat. We're going to gaze to our hands. We'll slide our left thumb until it touches our right. Let's slide the left hand towards our feet, pause when the left fingernails are in alignment with the base of our right hand. We'll lift up onto our tippy toes, take a deep bend in our knees. We'll take the right hand to the outside of our left leg, anywhere but our knee. Inhale, we fill our chest. With an exhale, the right shoulder descends, the left shoulder lifts. We keep that deep bend in our right knee as we begin to straighten the left, rotating through our thoracic spine, stretching that left side body. Exhale, deep bend in both knees. Our right hand replaces our left. Left hand to the outside of our right leg, anywhere but our knee. Inhale, deep breath in, fills our chest. Exhale, the left shoulder descends, the right shoulder lifts. We begin to straighten the right leg while keeping that deep bend in the left knee, stretching through that right side body. Exhale, deep bend in our knees. We'll start to walk our hands back to our feet, pivot our heels in, toes out. As we rest in a froggy position at the back of our mat, hands to prayer. The effort of our elbows against our knees helps unlock the base of our spine. The effort of our hands into one another and our knees and elbows helps elongate our spine, expand our chest. Stay here. Or slide the right arm in front of our leg, aiming our fingers to a side wall. Extending the left arm without the left knee buckling in. Perhaps continue to gaze past the left shoulder. We come into a half bind or a full bind. We'll find where our body wishes to be for 3 more breaths. 2. 1. Undoing any bind we have, we'll all meet back at center. Inhaling, filling our chest. Exhale, sliding that left arm in front of our leg. Extending the right if we wish, gazing past our shoulder. Perhaps bending our elbows, maybe taking that half bind. Just making sure that that right knee doesn't buckle inward since the arm is not in front of the leg any longer. 3 more breaths, gazing past our shoulder. 2. 1. With an exhale, we'll meet back where we began. We can stay here or find a crow balancing. Lifting up onto our tippy toes, stacking wrist over elbow, maybe lifting one big toe, maybe lifting both, holding for 4, rounding our back into cat for 3, 2, 1. We'll find our way back to where we began. Thumb one finger at a time, connect, rotating our wrist, take any tension out of our hands. Hands under our shoulders, we'll lift our glutes about 3/4 and heel to toe, bring our feet about hip distance. We'll walk our hands out into our plank. We can rest in down dog or pivot onto our tippy toes. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, curling our toes. So we float up, shoulders roll to our ears and down our back. And just for today, let's bring our hands to our hips. We'll lengthen our right leg. Let's lift up our right toes. With an exhale, we soften our right knee. We pause when we're knee over ankle, lengthening in that hamstring. Then we lower our right toes, anchoring our foot. Let's lift and lower our left. Interlace the left finger at our sacrum. Inhale, our eyes and our hands glide in opposite directions. Warrior 1 with our humble warrior arms. Gaze into the sky, the hot air balloon lifting our heart to the sky. And anchor, drawing our sacrum to the floor. 2 more breaths. 1. Inhale, we'll gaze forward. With an inhale, our spine elongates. We gaze to our foot. We'll gently extend our hands away from our body to the ceiling, to the wall in front of us. We can keep our fingers interlaced for medium, draw our palms together for more, hold on to elbows for less. We can stay in humble warrior with our chest and our thigh, maybe slide our shoulders inside of our leg. Maybe left knee to the ground, or balancing in toppling tree. Finding where your body would like to be, gazing somewhere around the right foot for 3 more breaths. 2. 1. Exhale, toppling trees, gracefully come down, knees on the ground, gracefully build up. We'll meet with our interlaced hands in our sacrum. We'll undo the interlaced hands under our shoulders. We'll step back into our plank, right thigh parallel. Let's walk our hands back till they rest under our shoulders. Softening our left knee, preparing for warrior 3. Hands to our thigh for strength. Hands on our hips to keep us honest. Prayer, airplane, or interlace the right finger at our sacrum for more of a chest expansion. Our heel aims in one direction, the crown of our head in the other. Gazing underneath our heart for 3 more breaths. 2. 1. With an exhale, our hands meet on our hips. We soften our knees, hands under our shoulders. We'll walk ourselves out into our plank. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. We can stay here. Or come up on high on our tippy toes. Take a deep bend in our knees, chest to our thighs. Lift our shoulders to our hips, turn our armpits towards our yogi mat neighbors, gaze to our navel. And lower our heels, finding just a little bit more space in the upper back. Stay here. Or lift our left leg high. Maybe come up onto the ball of our right foot. Perhaps with an exhale, we'll draw our left knee to our nose. For 3, 2, 1. Inhale, left leg high. We'll look to our hands and we'll step our left foot forward into our lunge, pivot the right at 45. Heel to heel. Hands to prayer by our left big toe. Inhale, our legs are strong. Exhale, we float up into our warrior 1. Shoulders roll to our ears and down our back. And just for today, we'll sweep our hands back to our sacrum. We're going to straighten our left leg and lift our left toes. With an exhale, we bend our knee. We lengthen our femur so it's close to parallel. And when we're knee over ankle, we lower the left toes as our anchor. We lift and lower right toes, lower them down to the little toe side of our right foot presses into the imaginary wall behind us. Let's interlace the right finger to our sacrum. Inhale, our eyes and our hands glide in opposite directions. Finding our warrior 1 with our humble warrior arms, creating space between our shoulders and our ears. The hot air balloon lifts our heart to the sky. The sacrum is drawn down to the ground with the effort of that extra tiny little anchor. Our thighs draw to the midline. 2 more breaths. 1. Inhale, we gaze forward. With an inhale, our torso lengthens over our thigh. We gaze to our foot. No strain in our neck. Our hands extend away from our body to the ceiling, to the wall in front. Keep our fingers interlaced medium. Draw our palms together for a little more. Hold on to elbows for less. Stay as we are. Maybe knee on the ground. Maybe toppling tree. Surrendering in our humble warrior. Balancing that left even weight through all 5 toes on that left foot. 2 more breaths. 1. With an exhale, toppling trees come down. Inhale, knees on the ground. Build up. We meet with our interlaced hands in our sacrum. We undo the interlace, hands under our shoulders. We'll step back into our plank. Keeping that left thigh parallel, we walk our hands back until they rest under our shoulders. Prepare for warrior 3. We'll soften our right knee, hands on our thigh. Maybe hands on our hips to keep us honest. Perhaps prayer, airplane, or interlacing the right finger by our sacrum. Reaching our hands back, expanding our chest more. The crown of our head reaches forward, our left heel draws back. We try to wiggle our toes to the floor. 3 more breaths in our warrior 3 balance of choice. 2. 1. Exhale, we meet with our hands on our hips, right leg softens, hands under our shoulders. We'll walk ourselves out into our plank. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. Let's lift our right leg high. We'll begin to walk our hands back until they rest in a large pyramid underneath our shoulders. Inhale, we fill our chest. Exhale, we bend our elbows, surrender the crown of our head down. Inhale, our right hip opens, we stay here. Or exhale, we bend and tuck. Inhale, we open. Exhale, we bend and tuck. 2 more if we're moving. Inhale, we open. Exhale, bend and tuck. 1 more. Inhale, we open. Exhale, we bend and tuck. We'll all meet it open. Then we'll walk ourselves out into our plank high. Meeting in our plank, we can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Do you want to help us? Inhale, up dog, curling our toes, joining our friends in down dog. Let's aim our left leg high, and then we'll walk our hands back, creating a large pyramid. Inhale, filling our chest, softening our elbows, crown of our head descends. Inhale, our left hip opens. Stay here, strength and flexibility. Or exhale, bend and tuck. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, bend and tuck. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale. We'll meet it open. Then we'll all soften our knee, begin to walk ourselves out into our plank. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. And in our down dog, let's surrender our knees to the ground for a moment. Let's allow our elbows to rest under our shoulders, our palms to connect. We're going to turn our down dog into a dolphin. The goal is to get a little bit more into our upper back. This time we have weight distributed between our elbows and our wrists. Inhale, we'll curl our toes, find that A-frame with our body. So our down dog legs. Distributing weight from elbow to palm. Aiming our thighs back, lifting our shoulders to our hips so our hair might touch the ground, but not our head. If we want more, we walk our feet closer to our elbows. Maybe we lift one leg to the sky, finding where your body wishes to be. Strengthening that upper back. We're here for 4 more breaths or less. Taking child's pose after your 4 breaths or so. 3 more breaths or so. 2. 1. With an exhale, we'll meet in our child's pose after bending down dog. Big toes touch, heels towards our glutes, knees wide. Arms extend, eyes closed. Inhale, let's shimmy our fingers to the left, going only as far as we don't lift our glutes from that original position. At the last moment, we'll press our fingertips into the ground. We'll rotate our chest a little bit more into the direction of our left leg. Inhale, we'll fill our right lung with air, expanding our lung capacity, stretching our shirt. Exhale, a nourishing breath to our lower back. Inhaling, filling our chest with air. Exhale, a nourishing breath to our lower back. One more nice long inhalation. And an equally long exhale. Staying low. Let's walk our hands through center and to the right. Going only as far as we don't lift our glutes from that original position. At the last moment, again, we press our fingertips into the ground. We rotate our chest a little bit more into the direction of our right leg. Inhale, filling that left lung with air, expanding our lung capacity, stretching our shirt. Exhale, a nourishing breath to our lower back. One more nice long inhalation. And an equally long exhale. Staying low, we'll walk our hands through center. And when we believe we're at center, we'll open our eyes. We'll make sure our arms are just shoulder distance apart. Turning the inner aspects of our elbows towards one another so we don't hyperextend. We find our way up to all fours. Our knees are a little wide, so we slide them to breast back underneath our hips. This is our perfect alignment for our down dog. Inhale, we'll round our back into our cat. We'll curl our toes, finding our way back into down dog. We can bring our big toes to touch, stay here, or lift our right leg high, or come up onto the ball of our left foot to stretch our arch. Perhaps with an exhale, we draw our right knee towards our left elbow for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, right leg high. Let's look to our hands. We're going to step our right foot forward into our lunge with the left up 45. Heel to heel. Right palm or fist at our heart. With an inhale, the left hand slides past our shoulders to the sky. Gaze into our left finger. Let's lift and lower our left toes, anchoring that left foot into the ground. Inhale, we watch our left hand reach to our ankle. Exhale, we circle in space. 2 more. Inhale, exhale. 1 final rotation, stacking the joints in our arms. With an inhale, we'll engage our left quadricep. We'll use our core strength. Find our way up, warrior 2. Hands to our hips. We'll straighten our right leg. Let's lift our right toes and walk a half step to the wall in front of us, creating heel to arch alignment, preparing for triangle. Your hips may have become sassy. Let's lengthen from right big toe to hip, draw down left hip to heel to keep our pelvis parallel with the floor. Extending our arms parallel to the floor, we gaze past our right hand. Inhale, we reach forward. When our body won't stretch anymore, the right hand descends. Our left hand slides our right rib to our thigh, stacking the left rib on top. And we extend that left arm to the sky. Inhale, we look down to our right shoulder, we lift and lower our toe. Exhale, we turn our chin on its axis, looking up to the left shoulder, lift and lower the left toes. If our left hand is behind the seam in our shirt, we don't want to hyperextend our arm. We want to get a good stretch from our shoulders, so we bring the heel of our hand to our sacrum or reach for the inner aspect of our thigh. If we want more of a challenge for the lower back, extend that right arm forward. Right hamstring, lift and lower the right toes periodically. If we want more from the left IT band, periodically lift and lower the toes wherever we are. Let's be here for 3 more breaths. 2, 1. Undoing any bind we have. Inhale, our left arm reaching high to the sky. Exhale, we'll cartwheel our hands down, step back into our plank. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog. We can stay here with our big toes touching or lift our left leg high. Maybe come up onto the ball of our right foot. Perhaps with an exhale, we draw our left knee to our right elbow for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, left leg high. Let's look to our hands and we'll step our left foot forward into our lunge with the right at 45, heel to heel. Left palm or fist at our arch. With an inhale, the right hand slides past our shoulders to the sky. Gaze into our right hand. Inhale, we watch our right hand reach for our ankle. Exhale, we circle in space. Inhale, exhale, 1 final rotation. Eyes following, our hand resting with the shoulders stacked. With an inhale, we use our core strength, stack shoulders over hips, warrior 2. Hands to our hips, we'll lengthen our left leg. From left big toe to hip, drawing down from right hip to our heel. Stacking shoulders over hips, navel engages, tailbone descends, we extend our arms. Preparing for a triangle, inhale, that left arm reaches forward. And eventually, when our body won't stretch anymore, the left hand descends. Our right hand slides our left rib to our thigh, stacking the right rib on top, and we extend our right arm to the sky. Inhale, we look to our left shoulder, lifting our toes. Exhale, we'll turn our chin on its axis to look to the right. If our hand is behind the seam in our shirt, we can take half bind if we wish. Maybe we extend one or both arms forward. Keeping that ruler-like spine, the back of our head, shoulders, hips, rest on the imaginary wall behind us. Lifting and lowering the left toes for more into that left hamstring. Lifting, lowering the right toes for more into the IT band. 3 more breaths. 2, Let's undo any bind we have. Inhale, our right arm, reach into the sky. Exhale, we'll cartwheel our hands down, step back into our plank. We can rest in down dog or hover. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Curling our toes. Joining our friends in down dog and in our down dog. Let's soften our knees and let our knees rest underneath our hips. Let's pivot onto one hip or another, no preference. We're going to extend our legs forward. And with our legs extended forward, let's soften the right knee and bend our right knee. And we're going to take the arch of our right foot and the outside edge of our right hip. We'll take that left hand and rest it away from that left hip in the direction of the wall that is away from us. Lengthening through that left heel. Inhale, the right arm reaches high. Inhale, we reach forward. And with an inhale, the right elbow bends back. So option one, we can gaze to that left leg with the left hand as our anchor, right hand behind us. Option two, we could hold on to a towel, hold on to our hands in a full bind. 3 more breaths as we open that right shoulder and right hip. Left heel extending forward. 2 more breaths, navel drawing to our spine. 1. With an exhale, let's release any bind we have. Left hand to the outside of our left hip, right hand to the outside of our leg. We'll gently bring our spine to upright. We'll extend the right leg, softly bend the knee on the left. Left arch to the outside edge of our hip, right hand extends out from our shoulder. Inhale, we lengthen. Inhale, we reach forward, and with an inhale, we find that half bind or full bind. Navel engages, shoulders reach to our hips. Trying to keep even weight distribution through that left foot. 2 more breaths, engaging our navel. 1. Let's undo any bind we have. Right arm to the outside of our leg, left arm to the outside of our leg. Inhale, we elongate. And let's gently find a little balance. We're going to let our heels touch, toes lift. Shoulders roll to our ears and down our back. Let's transition onto our tippy toes, extending our legs, holding somewhere behind our legs, maybe holding our big toes. Maybe the outside edges of our feet, maybe arms extended or hands on the floor. Finding where your body would like to be, find where your hamstrings wish you to be. 3 more breaths balancing. 2. 1. Exhale, our feet descend. Let's bend our left knee. Take the left hand behind our glute and a diagonal. First 2 fingers and thumb around our right big toe, or right hand to the outside edge of our toe, lengthening our hamstring, expanding our chest, softening, unpretzeling the left, pretzeling up the right. Right hand as our anchor, capturing that left foot, extending, stretching our hamstring. Releasing down and balancing 1 more time. Tippy toes touch the ground, shoulders roll to our ears and down our back. Finding our balance. Heart aiming to our legs. Shoulders rolling down our back. 4 more breaths wherever we are. 3 more breaths wherever our body's taking us. 2. 1. Exhale, our heels descend, toes lift. Inhale, we feel our chest reaching. Our friend in front of us is holding onto a little rope. 1 vertebra at a time. We're getting a little slack, scooping out our belly like the letter C. Finding momentum avoided that way, using the muscular strength to come down. We bring our heels to our glutes. Preparing for a bridge, hands strong, feet strong. Inhale, we press into the ground. Exhale, we lift up into our bridge, shimming our shoulders underneath us. Interlacing our fingers, reaching our interlaced fingers for our heels as our shoulders shimmy under our body a little more. Lifting up onto our tippy toes to get a little more from our calf muscles, holding onto an imaginary beach ball between our thighs. We'll take our bridge with the leprechaun and pot of gold under our heels and between our chin and our chest for 2 more breaths. 1. Exhale, we unshimmy our shoulders 1 vertebra at a time. Our spine elongates away from the crown of our head. When our tailbone touches the ground, we extend our legs forward. And we'll reach our hands back, interlacing our thumbs. Inhale, reaching our fingers and toes away from the midline of our body. And with an exhale, we let it all go, sliding our hands along the floor, resting palms up about 8 inches from our side body. Sliding our legs out to be about mat distance apart, heels in, toes out. Resting in our Shavasana. Keeping the external rotation of our limbs. Maybe internally rotating our arms, 1 hand to our heart, 1 hand to our belly. Maybe an internal rotation of our legs, finding knock knee with our feet is wider than our mat. Finding our Shavasana of choice. Melting into the floor. 5 more breath cycles or so. Finding the support of the floor. 4 more breath cycles or so. 3, 2, 1. Keeping our eyes closed, let's tuck our right thigh into our chest. Holding behind our thigh, finding that thigh to chest connection, stretching our lower back. Extending and drawing in the other, holding behind the thigh. Let's rotate and wiggle, taking tension out of our feet or ankles or toes. Then we'll pause. Inhale, we'll take a deep breath in, and with an exhale, we'll curl our head, neck, and shoulders to our knees, finding a nice little ball with our bodies. With an exhale, our torso descends. We begin to rock from side to side to side to side. Eventually resting on our right-hand side in a supported fetal position. Opening and shutting our eyes. Pressing the left hand into the floor and then the right, gently guiding ourselves back up, finding our simple cross leg. Lotus, half lotus, or Virasana Hero's pose. We'll roll our shoulders to our ears and down our back. Once we've found our seated position, we'll close our eyes as we turn our palms to face the sky. Let's imagine there's a golf ball on our right shoulder. Our right ear will lift up and over that golf ball. Left fingers with a feather-light touch, breathing and swallowing. Lengthening and opening. With an inhale, our chin returns to parallel. Left hand descends golf balls on our left shoulder. Our left ear lifts up and over the golf ball. Right fingers with a feather-light touch, breathing and swallowing, lengthening and opening. Inhale, our chin to parallel, right hand descends. Let's all lift our shoulders to our ears, roll them down our back, and as our shoulders aim to the opposite wall, our chin becomes heavy. And as our chin descends toward the chest, the back of our neck lengthens through gravity. Let's all bring our hands to prayer at our heart. And namaste. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me in my home. And I'll see you next time. Have a great one.